There is a ton of hype around the Resident Evil 4 remake, but it seems like many people are forgetting about the other Resident Evil things that are coming in the future, like the Resident Evil Village DLC, more specifically the third-person mode. What's up everybody, this is Mixstan and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I wanted to discuss how the third person mode is going to change the game of Village entirely. But before we get into that, I have to ask you to please hit that like button. For this video, we're going to try to reach a goal of 40 likes, and maybe consider subscribing if you're a huge Resident Evil fan like myself, because this channel will be covering a ton of Resident Evil stuff in the future, and you're not going to want to miss it. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So recently I started playing Village again, and there was something right off the bat that stood out to me when I compare this to other Resident Evil titles, like the Resident Evil 2 remake and even Resident Evil 7. For some reason, Resident Evil Village doesn't feel as good as those two games. Even with Resident Evil 7 also being a first-person shooter, it doesn't handle as weird as Village in my opinion, and this is simply because the gameplay of Village is faster paced than 7. Now they both have the same kind of mechanics, but 7 is a better handling game in my opinion because you are not overwhelmed with enemies and you don't have to move so fast like you do in Village. Now what makes Village handle worse than 7, even though it handles the same, is because you are put in situations where you need to move a little bit faster than you normally would in a game like Resident Evil. But the problem is you don't have the controls of fast-paced shooters like Call of Duty or Apex Legends for a first-person game. Now, before you say anything, I'm not saying that Village is a bad game, and I'm not saying that it handles terribly. What I'm saying is the game could handle better when you compare it to other first-person shooters. And the reason for this is it's using the same engine that we got from Resident Evil 7, which was a much slower game, and it also even handles comparably to the Resident Evil 2 remake. So in that sense, this game would be so much better in third person, and luckily we are getting a third person mode with the DLC that is coming later this year. Now, when we're talking about the third-person mode, of course, there are going to be certain parts of this game that just aren't going to feel as good as the first-person game, right? So, like, the cutscenes, some of these cutscenes aren't going to be as good in third-person, like when you see Ethan get his hand cut off, you know, or if he's captured. Things like that just aren't going to be as good because you're not there in first-person, you're watching a character do it, right? So in that aspect, the game won't be as good. But what I'm talking about is the gameplay itself, and that will exceed, in my opinion. Imagine this game, but playing it in the Resident Evil 2 remake style, right? I really do believe that this game would be so much better. You know what? Actually, compare this more to Resident Evil 3 remake when you're playing as Carlos in the hospital and you have those hordes of zombies coming through. That is more of the style that Village is going to be, and I really do think that this game is going to be so much better in third person when you actually think about how those games handled compared to this one. Basically what I'm saying is the third person mode will be a brand new experience for everyone who has already played Village, and in my opinion I think it's going to be a better experience. Anyway guys, I just wanted to make this video because I feel like everyone is overlooking this DLC and you can't forget about it because it's gonna be good. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.